Today, let's talk about distractions. Funny thing about distraction is that people love to use them. And so many of my clients use these distractions as a way to help manage their anxiety, their depression, their guilt, and their grief. What are some distractions that we typically do? Well, definitely we're doing those video games, right? We can be doing drugs. We can be working towards a goal of being skinnier, more muscular. We can also be doing chores. Household chores are unending. That can always work. Our work in general. And there are many, many others. And whenever my clients ask me about coping skills, they usually outline these. And I love these coping skills, right? So, video games, right? Notably proven in varieties of different psychological research on boosting reflexes, on being able to improve cognitive functioning in terms of problem solving, overall being an entertaining way to socially distance but also have friends. But obviously, too much is not great. Now, drugs. Medication is helpful for a wide variety of people. Some people require pain management. Marijuana, one of the drugs that though has its effects, and we should not be giving it to children, it should be something an adult uses that has their fully formed brain to deal with the consequences of it, it does provide some relief from difficult things. Working out at the gym. This is probably one of the things that I support the most, right? Use your body. Work on your body. When you work on your body, you feel better. You don't really have a choice in that. Working on chores. We can all be a little cleaner. Working. We need money. How can we figure it out without money, right? Life requires money. But unfortunately, people use these things as distractions. And oftentimes, they're distracting themselves from emotional processing. They're utilizing it kind of like a wall that blocks themselves out. And let me tell you what happens in this wall. Let's say you're trying to overcome grief. Grief is the thing that you are trying to overcome. And you're trying to use these things to overcome grief. Now look at these walls that you've built. Because you've built walls from emotional processing and never allowing it to really get in there, unfortunately, you prevent these things from helping out at all. Simply, your grief continues. I have many, many clients who are extremely successful. They try to reduce their symptoms of depression, reduce their anxiety, and when they do their work, they do in fact feel like they do that. But do they really? Aren't you just feeling it? Don't you still cry? Aren't you still living a life that's not your favorite? Why are you here in counseling then? Things are not going well with your current routines. Your video games, your drugs, your exercise, your work, everything that makes you relatively productive is not working. Why are we doing it? So how do we make this a little bit better? We have to first break down these walls and practice more emotional processing. Are you allowing yourself enough time to be happy, crying, mad, and anxious? Are you doing something about these symptoms? Are you seeing a counselor? Oh, I can't write there. Are you talking with family? Are you reaching out at all? And if you are not doing those things, these things are not really valuable. They truly do nothing. When you use these things, they are a smokescreen to hide your symptoms. And those symptoms, they come violently back. I like to say that whenever people experience, let's say, sadness, and we've all felt this before, the more we ignore it, guess what happens? The more violent the sadness becomes. And guess what happens then? Now you're finding that you're crying at work. You don't really enjoy exercise anymore. You're maybe angry with your family. You've disconnected your relationship with them. Video games really don't do anything. Even drugs, you are maybe dealing with terrible, terrible, risky drugs, or even things like alcohol or marijuana, the use is going higher and higher and higher because it's not doing the same thing. So here's what we need to do. Practice talking about your emotions. Practice feeling them. Number 2, seek help. Friends, family, mental health services. What else? Try to find some of these hobbies or coping skills and see if they are a distraction or are they actually helping you process the emotions. Now that's kind of funny, isn't it? These things actually help us process our emotions. Work, I'm supporting my family. It's for love, for happiness. Exercise, it gets my anger out. After a hard day at work, I use my anger at exercise. It's not a distraction from my anger. I'm using it right now. When I'm yearning for love and I'm sad, right? I go to my family. They're not a distraction. I'm not parenting just as a way to distract me from my feelings. I'm actually showing love and sadness, crying with my kids, crying with my grandparents, crying with my parents. Right? When I go to work, when I volunteer, when I do all of those things that we do to help ourselves cope, and I'm doing that in parentheses, we can actually use them as a healing process. But one thing really matters here. It's the intention. And I know it's hard to read now. It's really impossible to see anything. The intention is what matters. If you don't have the right intention when moving into your different activities, what's really the point of doing those activities at all? Now it's a little bit easier to see. That's pretty much the end of this video. I'm Michael. I'm a registered clinical counselor. I make these videos whenever I have a little bit of time. They're completely unedited and unscripted. I just do my best to have coherent thoughts in them. I hope this video has been useful to you. If you're looking for more videos, feel free to put it in the comments. And thank you for watching, listening, and I wish you a great 2021. And look at this crazy thing that we've made.